What's up, you guys? Cece back with another video, and today's video is going to be super exciting because we're going to do our first fall look. So I know y'all are probably already into the fall vibes, and I'm kind of late on the fall looks, but you know what? Better late than never, okay? So if this is your first time watching me or my channel, make sure you go ahead, click that subscribe button, click the notification bell, all that good stuff, and make sure you stay tuned. All right, so I have a few things to talk to you guys about today. So we're going to do a little chit chat, but we're also going to do some fall inspired makeup. I have some old stuff, some new stuff, all types of things over here that we are going to get into. Some of these products are products that I recently bought that I showed you guys that I want to give you also mini reviews on. So we're going to incorporate all of that in here. You guys are always saying that I don't do enough makeup videos anymore. So I'm going to try to incorporate more of those into my channel. And yeah, that's what we're going to start to do. So I figured this would be a good kickoff to do a nice fall look. Y'all, I was going through like my Instagram archives, my story archives, and there was it was a fire ass photo from like 3 years ago where I did this beautiful fall look, and I was like, oh my God, like I have to freaking do some fall makeup. So I'm so excited. Like I said, I pulled out some old stuff, some new stuff, and we're just gonna jump right in. So first things first, of course, we have to use primer. We're going to use the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer. And of course, I'll have all of these products linked below for you guys if you want to check them out. But this is a primer that I primarily pull out in the fall and winter. And I do that because it is not super mattifying, but it makes your skin look like it has a filter. Just like super porcelain skin. So I use that. I love using this as a primer, but a lot of times if I want to wear it in like the spring or the summer, I have to use a mattifying primer as well because it doesn't keep me matte. All right, as I was saying before I was interrupted by my 2-year-olds, it's not a mattifying primer, so I have to mix it with something else. And this time of year, since it's cool outside, I don't have to do that. You guys, for this video, I am also incorporating a bunch of products from Sephora. Like some of my favorite products from Sephora, I'm incorporating in this video because the Sephora VIB Rouge event is coming up. So that'll be coming up at the end of October, and you'll be able to shop at a discounted rate. You guys know how it goes. We do it every year. So, well, they do it every year, not we. But so I'm going to use some of my favorite products from Sephora so you guys can get a sense of some of the things that I like, and also get your brains moving about what you may want to purchase because it'll come up fast. So have your carts ready. Stuff sells out, all of that. So some new favorites, some old favorites are here, and I'm just trying to put y'all up on some of the stuff I've been loving. So this here is the KVD. This is the 24-hour Super Brow in the shade Dark Brown. I'm going to use that on my brows. I've been back to using brow pomades lately, and every time I go back to using it, I always come back to myself and I'm like, why did I stop? I don't know. All right, I'm going to take this Anastasia Beverly Hills, this concealer, and I'm just going to clean up the brows a bit. I've been feeling like lately the pomade just looks a little cleaner than the pencil. Maybe it's just my technique. I need to update my technique, but taking a moment to rest, feeling stressed out. Give it a cut. I put that on cut when it gets hard. I stay on my job like no days. All right, let's move into the eyes. I'm going to take the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Eye Primer. One of my favorite eye primers at the moment, by the way, which I don't use eye primer very often because I don't do eye makeup very often anymore. But I think we're going to get kind of dramatic today. Maybe. We'll see. I think we might try to get a little dramatic today, though. But with lash extensions, I try to stay away from using eye primer or using eye makeup a whole lot. But we might get a little fancy. Maybe. I'm going to, my lips feel so dry, so I'm going to use this Lawless Forget the Filler Overnight Lip Plumping Mask, and I'm just going to put that on my lips for right now to prep my lips for whatever lip product we decide to use. Okay, this is where it gets exciting because we're going to take the Jackie Aina and Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. You guys remember this palette? I haven't bought a new eyeshadow palette in I don't know how long. However, you guys, I don't need a new eyeshadow palette because I have so many. But this one, this eyeshadow palette right here was everything. We all know it. Leave a comment down below if you guys still use this palette. Like I said, I don't use eyeshadows very much anymore, but this was definitely that girl back in the day, okay? So, yes, I dug this one out of the archives, and I'm just going to take this like fluffy brush and we're going to get our base color. So we're going to use the shade Ginger right here, and I'm just going to use that as kind of my lid base color. Give a pretty brown girl her space. You can keep your bitter. I'ma make a better way. Hey, hey, catch a break. Better way. Oh, waking up late. Next, I'm going to take this shade right here. It's called Credit. And I'm just going to add that. I'm going to take like a smaller brush and I'm going to add that right on top of the color we just laid. But like right in my crease. And I'm going to go in about 3/4 of the way. Just pulled up to the house. Don't feel like getting out. I'ma just lay back and crack this window. I've been doing my Oh, that's cute. That's cute. I told y'all we was gonna go a little deep today. Yeah, that's cute. All right, I want to use, what are we gonna use? Let's use, I don't know if I like any of these shimmery shades. Let me try this one. So I pulled out this Natasha Denona Retro palette also, and I feel like I want to use this shade right here, Rebellion. I feel like I want to use that shade on the lids. Like I want to keep it very, very deep. So that's what it looks like on the brush. We're gonna focus. Come on. There we go. That's what it looks like on the brush. All right, I think that was a little more kind of pink than I wanted. Not sure if I'm in love with it now. Let me see. I'm going to add Wiggalese on top from the Jackie Aina palette and see if we can salvage this real quick. Oh yeah, that's much better. It's actually brighter too. I like the red. I like the red.
and dad's only daughter, do I make you proud? Writing my life in lyrics to your...
Okay, let's get started on the face. I'm going to be using a brand new foundation today. It's not even out the package yet, but I showed you guys this, I don't know, I think a few vlogs ago maybe. I ended up purchasing the Estee Lauder, hold on. The Estee Lauder Double Wear Sheer Long Wear Makeup, and I'm in the shade 5W1 Bronze. So it just looks like this. I purchased this and then I ended up getting the wrong shade, so I had to take it back and get the right shade. So here we are. I wanted to try it. It says it's sheer, so we'll see what it looks like on. Underneath, I'm gonna also be using the where is this in English? The Le Beige Water Fresh Tint by Chanel. I think I showed you guys this a few vlogs ago as well. I really like how it looks alone, but since they're both sheer, I figured we can like pair them together and see how they look together. So that's what we're gonna put on the face, and yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So I figured I would talk to you guys a little bit today just about some random things, some random questions that I get and stuff like that. So first thing I wanted to talk about was TV shows, because I get that question all the time. What are you watching? And right now I'm back on my true crime phase. I feel like I go in and out. So the thing with true crime, like, I love true crime, as you guys probably already know. I'm going to just do this with my fingers, y'all. This is the Chanel. But I love true crime, as you guys probably already know. It's my thing, right? So I love listening to it, but sometimes when I listen to just too much of it for long periods of time, it feels like it just starts to get really heavy, right? It starts to get really heavy. It starts to weigh on me. So I have to take like periodic breaks from true crime. Some things, like, I don't want to say anything is lighthearted about a crime or somebody getting murdered or anything like that, but some of the stories are a little easier to digest, right? Some of the stories are just a little easier, and so it's fine for me. It doesn't really faze me. And then other times there are stories that are just so heavy. Maybe they're about kids. Maybe they're like, they have like a racist intent or a racist motive, and that usually messes with me, so I have to take breaks from them. But recently I've gotten back into it, and I've been listening to My Favorite Murder, which is a podcast that I listen to, a true crime podcast. But I've also been watching more. Oh, this is really thin. Look at that. That is super thin. I've also been watching more of the true crime documentaries on Netflix. You guys, I'm going to take this Dior brush. I bought this, it had to be close to a year ago, and I never used it. And it's just a Dior face brush, so I just want to see how it works. But recently I've gotten more into the different documentaries on Netflix. One of them being Like Everybody Else in the World, Dahmer. I thought Dahmer was so good. I thought it was so well done. I thought it was going to be more of a documentary, because that's what I'm used to watching on Netflix. Mark and I, like, they drop new documentaries like every week, and Mark and I will sit there and watch them like on Sundays while we put away laundry or something like that. And so I thought it was going to be more like a documentary, but it's more like a reenactment movie. And so this all happened. Jeffrey Dahmer was arrested in 91. I was 4 years old. So I heard the name before, and I knew he was a serial killer. I knew he like ate people, and so he was into cannibalism, but I didn't know any of the stories behind it, and I never really bothered to look it up. I had never seen any other documentaries or anything on him, so when they were coming out with it, I was like, ooh, I think this will be interesting. That some of the episodes, like I said, I don't want to say they're humorous, because nothing's humorous about, you know, someone killing innocent people. But some of the episodes were a little easier to digest than others. And it kind of goes, oh, this is pretty. Look at my face. Wow. This really like placed the makeup on well also. Oh my God. Why have I not been using this? Oh, y'all gotta get this brush. Oh, this is definitely going to be linked below. You guys got to get this brush. It was kind of expensive, but I mean, there are no brush strokes or anything. My face looks gorgeous. I love it. Okay, we good. Okay, so anyway, there were some episodes that were easier to digest than others, and this might be a little spoiler alert if you haven't watched it, but I think it's episode 6 where he kills the deaf guy. Ooh, it's like, ooh, that one was tough to get through, right? And I thought it was going to be more of a documentary, so I thought we were going to be focusing more on, like the trial and stuff like that. I didn't know it was going to be a reenactment and just like a reenactment of how the murders went down. And so as you're watching it, it's just like, oh my God, like some of the, like it was, I don't know, some of the stuff was, it was wild, man. So I thought it was really, really good though. But yeah, when he killed the deaf guy, I like that one took me out. If it, like none of the other ones really took me out all like that. Like they were all pretty messed up, right? But none of them really took me out all like that except for that episode. Because I thought he was going to get away. I really did. And I should have known he didn't, seeing as how what? I don't know. I can't remember. But I should have known. I can't remember what I was about to say. But I should have known he didn't. But he was so close. So that was what we, like the last new thing we watched. But then at the end, when they did finally get into the trial and how Jeffrey Dahmer was killed in jail and all that stuff, they were talking about this other murderer that happened in like the 70s, and it was John Wayne Casey or John Casey, I can't remember, but he was sentenced to death, and he got the death penalty because he was another serial killer, this like heinous serial killer, and they have his interview tapes, so it's like a documentary with his interview tapes on Netflix. And I'm like, I gotta hear some of these. Like, I would love to watch that one. I don't know. Do you guys ever listen to true crime or watch true crime and then you try to explain it to someone and you feel like you sound like a crazy person? And you're like, this is what I've been watching. I've been watching people get murdered or listening to people get murdered, and this is what happened, and it's so weird, but you're so fascinated by it, and you're like, oh, people probably think I'm a crazy person. And I promise you I'm not. It's just, I don't know. It's kind of fascinating. It's kind of interesting, and then it's also, one, I find it fascinating to see what people do in that situation. Like, because there are, like, a lot of times when I listen to the podcast, they do survival stories too. So people who actually, were kidnapped or were in like a situation where they were about to get murdered or raped or kidnapped or something, and they got themselves out of it. And I always find those stories super fascinating. Like what people will do and how they manage to save their own lives and think quickly on their feet. I find that to be amazing. And I feel like, shoot, if something ever happened to you ever get into a little scuffle, a little situation like that, maybe it'll give you some ideas and you'll think back to that time that you listened to that podcast. I don't know. That's why I say to Mark, because he'll be like, why do you listen to this stuff? And I'm like, I don't know. You never know. It might help you, shoot. If anything, it'll help you keep your eyes open and keep your eyes on your surroundings, right? But, yeah. So, I've been watching Dahmer. And then I want to watch, we finished Dahmer. And then I want to watch the John Wayne Casey. I think that's his name. I want to watch that one. And then I think they said they have the Dahmer tapes too from his interview, because they said he was like really candid. When they finally did catch him, they said he was like really candid in his police interviews. Like he was like just super upfront and open and gave them pretty much everything. So I would like to hear those too now that I have the background. But that's it. It's really just been true crime playing at my house. That's really been about it. I'm using the Makeup by Mario. This is as a whole lash on the back of it. This is the Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer. It's an all over warming complexion tint, and I have it in the shade dark. And I use it kind of as a cream bronzer. And it blends really, really nicely. This is something that I'll probably be using all winter as my skin gets so pale in the wintertime. Like my skin just gets so pale. It's ridiculous. So this is something I'll probably be using all winter. So next I'm going to use, this is the new Laura Mercier powder. I have been in love with this stuff. Your skin just looks so good. This is in translucent medium deep, and I use it all over the face. It's their translucent loose setting powder, the Ultra Blur. So this one just came out a few months ago, and I ran to purchase it, and I really, 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 really like it. Okay, so moving on, y'all know we just came back from our Cancun trip and our 10-year vow renewal that we have been planning forever. We just came back from that last week, and it was the best time ever. The vlog will be up soon. The vlogs will be up soon over on the family vlog channel. So if you're not following me there, you should go over there. I try to put most of my travels up over there because most of my travels with the family or me and Mark, if it's a solo travel, it'll go over here. So, yeah, we just came back from that last week, and it was the best time. I was updating you all on Instagram. So that's another place you need to keep up with me on Instagram, because I was updating you guys the entire time, and I just can't believe how amazing everything turned out. It was exactly what we imagined. It was so perfect. I can't wait to get the pictures back, like the formal pictures from the photographer and the videographer. I just can't wait to see them, but it was so perfect and so beautiful. And I mean, I'm so happy we did it, right? So we had so much fun. Upcoming trips we were thinking about, and we were like, oh my gosh, we got to do another trip. Like, first of all, we had all of our kids with us, which was great. I was so happy I was able to give them that. But it's time for a mommy daddy trip. Look at my skin. Like, who am I? Is this a filter? Like, it might as well be. This might as well be a filter. That's how good it looks. That's how good it looks. Okay, so yeah, we were like, we need a mommy daddy trip. So we are going to plan to go to Jamaica in March. Hopefully we can make that happen. All depends on the babysitters. But when the kids are on spring break, we're going to try to go to Jamaica in March. And then we're going to try, Mark will be 40, you guys, in July. I can't believe he'll be 40, but he'll be 40 in July. And so he wants to do a Paris trip. And so we're looking into that right now to see if we can get a trip to Paris on the books for his 40th birthday. So really excited about that. And then we also need to get a family trip in over the summer next year. So lots of things to think about, which also means lots of things to budget. And Mark and I actually sat down last weekend when we got back from Cancun, because that was our last big expense at this moment, was to finish, pay the balance on the wedding. That was our last big expense. So now we're like, okay, our money, will fluctuate out and we're done paying that off, and so we can think about what's next. And what's next is saving up for these trips, right? So with those trips, like we're kind of like those bougie travelers now. We're like, we want to, if we're gonna do it, we want to do it big. We want to do it a little luxury, you know. That costs money, okay? And since we ain't rich, we got to budget and save for that stuff, which means cutting back on some of the crazy things that we spend money on right now. We waste so much money. I'll be the first one to say it. Y'all see it all the time. Like, I take y'all with me on my shopping trips at Target or whatever. We waste so much money, and I mean, it's what we like to do, and it's fine. We can afford it. It's okay, right? But if we want to save for these trips without taking out of our savings, then we got to cut back somewhere. And so that's what we are doing right now. So I have a few more orders coming in, but after those, like seriously, we are getting serious about saving for these trips because they're going to be expensive and they're going to cost money, and we want to go. We want to do things. We want to travel. We want to make sure that we have money for our children to do things and travel. Like, stuff is just so expensive these days, y'all. I mean, everything down to like school fees and sports fees and stuff like that. Like dang, man, I feel like we pay for so much, and we make a good living. Like my paycheck says I have a good job. That's what I think it says, at least. But then when I look at that bank account, I be like, dang, do I really have a good job? Like, am I really making good money? Because everything, it just goes so fast and things just cost so much, and it's just, gosh, it's crazy, right? So budgeting and saving time, that's what we're doing, and that's what we on right now. So y'all don't be trying to get me to buy stuff, because I know how y'all be acting. Okay? So don't be trying to get me to buy stuff, because the answer is no. We ain't doing it. So that is kind of what's on the agenda coming up for like next year. That we're looking forward to. It's always nice to be looking forward to a trip or something, right? We always, and we've been doing this for a long time, we get in the habit of, we come back from a trip, we trying to plan another one, because it's just nice to have something to look forward to, something to count down to. And look, I hear people say it all the time, create a life you don't need a vacation from. You should have a job that you don't need a vacation from. Okay, I don't care what it is that you do. I don't care if you're an entrepreneur, you work for yourself, you're doing what you absolutely love, your whole passion, you doing that for a living. That is amazing, but you still need a space to unwind, right? You still need time to unwind and not think about it for a minute. Just because people go on vacation, just because people want vacations, don't mean that they hate their job or they hate the life they live. It just means they want a little vacation, right? Everyday life is everyday life, no matter what you do. So it can become mundane. No matter if you live the most exciting life, everyday life, the everyday routine that we're all in, can definitely become mundane. And it don't matter, like, I may think your life is exciting, but if you do it every day, it no longer becomes exciting, right? It just no longer becomes exciting. So oh, this look came out so fire. We love it. All right. So I was just using, as I was rambling, the Hollywood Beauty Light Wand Easy Highlighter by Charlotte Tilbury. That's what I put on my cheeks. I just love this highlighter so much. And for blush, I used the Huda Beauty. This is the Cheeky Tint Blush Stick in Rebel Red. I love pulling this out in the fall and winter as well. And now we just got to figure out what to do with these lips. Oh, no. Let's use this Laura Mercier Translucent Pure Setting Spray. I have not used this yet. This is brand new. So let's use that. I can't get over how good my skin looks. Like, she's a filter. She's a whole filter. Seriously.
It's my truth, I own. I speak it, don't make sense now. Give it a good, yeah. Put that on good when it gets hard. I stay on my job like no day.
Okay, so another question that I've been getting lately are, what are some of my goals for Q4 and what am I focusing on in 2023? I feel like I usually catch these questions in my monthly recaps, but I haven't been doing one every single month. I did one for September. October, we were out of the country, so I didn't do one, but I try to do them every month. I've been telling you guys how I've been struggling with staying motivated, right? And I'm still having that struggle, but I feel like I'm finally starting to get back to normal. So I do have like some heavy things on the agenda for Q4. For Q1. Q4, I really just want to work into getting back into my consistent productivity routine because I feel like I've been out of whack with that since, I don't know, like February, honestly. And so I just want to make sure that I'm back in the flow of things before I start to add some heavy, lofty goals to my plate, right? But I do have some big things in mind for Q1. I will share those, just not right now. But some of the things that I want to consistently get back to in Q4 is to make sure that I start journaling again. I really got off track with journaling. I was waking up and kind of journaling every morning, just using my 6-minute journal. And it's the same concept if you guys have the 5-minute journal or have seen it. I got my 6-minute journal from Amazon though, and it was a little cheaper. So it's the same concept. In the morning, you write down, I think it's 3 things you're grateful for or 3 things you're looking forward to or something like that. But it takes 6 minutes total. So like 3 minutes in the morning, 3 minutes in the evening. And I was doing that every single day. And it was really helping me reflect on my day and also just giving me a positive outlook for the day ahead. So I really do love doing that. And I have to get back into that routine because I feel like it was really getting and keeping me in a positive headspace, just being intentional about what I felt like would come from my day. I also want to get back to like hardcore, more organized planning. So what I've been doing, I've been writing my to-do list out and I've been keeping up with things and still writing things down. You guys, I can't function if I don't write things down. But I just want to get back to more organized planning because I felt like when I was doing that, it was effective. It was helping me. I wasn't just planning just to plan. It was effective. Was it a process to do sometimes? Yes, but it worked. And there's a reason it was a process. There was a reason it took a little longer because it was something that worked. And the same thing with budgeting. I've definitely gotten off track with sitting down with my budget and closing out my budget every week. And I'm definitely going to get back on track with that as well. Because like I said, we do have a lot of lofty goals to hit. And I just feel like I need to do that. I need to hit them. And like traveling for us is non-negotiable, right? I don't give a damn which we have. I don't give a damn. We go to the same place every year, right? Getting out of our space for a few days or for a week or whatever the case, whether that be alone, whether that even be with the kids, is super important to us. And showing our children that we prioritize each other, that we prioritize travel, that we prioritize them traveling is super important to us as well. So budgeting so we can make these trips happen is non-negotiable. All right, so I'm using the Dose of Colors. This is the lip liner in Cork. And I'm going to take the corresponding, what is this? The Liquid Matte lipstick in Cork as well. And I'm going to use that. Okay. I'm going to top it off with the Fenty Beauty. This is one of the Gloss Bomb creams in Cookie Jar. So that's what we're going to do. The last thing I want to make sure that I continue to do for Q4 is to keep up with my fitness goals. The one thing that I don't want to do is say, okay, wedding's over. That's what I've been working so hard for. I can just let it go by the wayside. No, 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 no. And I'll have a video coming up very soon talking about what my fitness goals will be going forward and, you know, some of the tactics that I use and all of that. So stay tuned for that. But last thing I want to do is let go of all the hard work that I put in. So I'm definitely going to continue that not only into Q4, but forever. Like, that's the goal, is to continue that forever. For Q4, I really just want to focus on finding a sustainable workout routine. I think I have a sustainable eating routine down, but it's finding a sustainable workout routine, like working out 6-7 days a week. Like, I ain't trying to be in no fitness competition, right? I just want to work out for my health and for my mental health, and also, you know, to look good, to feel good. So I don't need to be in the gym 7 days a week like I was doing previously. So I think 5 days a week for me is a good amount. My body feels good. If I want to do an extra day, I can, but my body feels good at 5 days a week. And then resting for 2 days. So, like I said, we got back a week ago. I have been to the gym 5 days this week. And I think today I'm just going to do like a very long kind of mobility stretch. But then, I'm going to rest tomorrow and let my body rest so I can go back in the gym and go hard for 5 days next week. And that is my plan, and it feels sustainable right now, and I think it will be sustainable, but that's something that I want to, like I said, find a good balance between my life and fitness and how they mesh together. But that was really it, y'all. I think we're done. What do you guys think about our first fall look? I'm going to have to do more of these because every time I stop playing in makeup and then I come back and I sit here and I chat with y'all and I play in makeup, or even when I sit at my desk by myself and I just play in some makeup and make my face up for no reason, it feels so good. This is definitely something that I love to do, as you guys know, and I just get away from it at times, and I just have to remind myself to get back. But I love this look. I love how it came out. I think it is absolutely beautiful. I love how it came out. The lip combo came together well. Yeah. We're good. If you guys recreate this look, you have to let me know. Tag me on Instagram. Let me know down below. If you guys would like to see me play with other products, also let me know down below. Or if you want to hear me talk about other topics while we chit chat and get ready, let me know down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.